Students, today we will study about microsporangium. Pollen grain which contribute the male gametes are formed within an anther. A typical anther is a tetrasporangiate. It has a column of sterile tissue called the connective on either side of which is an anther lobe. Each lobe has two microsporangia separated by a strip of sterile tissue. Externally, the partition can often be made out by the deep longitudinal groove. At maturity, the two sporangia in a lobe become joined due to the breakdown of partition between them. In some plants, such as Moringa, Wolffia, each anther lobe has only one microsporangium. Monothecus, rarely there may be just one microsporangium per anther as in Eriosothobium. A young anther comprises a homogeneous mass of cell bounded by a well-defined epidermis. During its development, the anther assumes a four-lobed appearance, and in each lobe, some hypodermal cell become more prominent than the other because of their large size, slightly radial elongation, and conspicuous nucleus. These cells constitute the archisporium. Mostly the archisporium is composed of many vertical rows of cells, and in transverse section of the anther it appears as a plate of cell. Really, however, it is formed of a single vertical row of cell, and consequently only a single archisporial cell can be seen in the cross section of the anther. Stages in the differentiation of sporogenous tissues. The archisporial cell divide in plane parallel to the outer wall of the anther lobe. Periclinal division, cutting of parietal cell toward the epidermis, and primary sporogenous cell toward the interior of the anther. The cell of the parietal layer undergoes a series of periclinal and anticlinal division to form 2 to 5 concentric layers of anther wall. The primary sporogenous cell, either directly or after a few mitosis division, function as a microspore mother cell. Anther wall. The mature anther wall comprises an epidermis followed by a layer of endothecium, 2 or 3 middle layer, and a single layer tapetum. Epidermis. During anther development, the epidermal cell undergoes repeated anticlinal division in order to cope up with the rapidly enlarging internal tissue. In a mature anther, they are greatly stretched and flattened. The epidermis performs its usual protective function. They may even become binucleate as the epidermal cells stimulate tapetum. They may become binucleate. As an unusual feature in the development of fibrous thickening in the epidermal cell in Arceuthobium, Bhandari and Nanda 1968 forming an exothecium which is a characteristic of microsporangia of gymnosperm. Endothecium. Normally the endothecium is a single layered, but in some plant it may become multi-layered. The endothecium originates from the parietal layer and is present in the protuberant part of the anther. A similar tissue when on the inner side is formed by the cells of the connective. In triticales, however, the entire ring of endothecium is formed by the parietal layer. By Bhandari and Khosla 1981, the cells of the endothecium are radially elongated. This layer attains its maximum development when anther is ready to dehisce for the discharge of pollen. Cells of this layer develop fibrous bands which arise from the inner tangential wall and run outward and upward, ending near the outer wall of each cell. The outer tangential wall remains thin. The endothelial thickening, according to Fossard 1969, contain a high proportion of alpha cellulose. Lignins are found to be absent from the endothelial bar. These findings were reported in Chenopodium rubrum. According to Vasil, the Fossard in 1968, the endothelial thickenings are always composed of cellulose and are slightly lignified at maturity. Additionally, small amount of pectin and lignins are present in pisum and lens respectively. In the anthers, which open by the longitudinal slit, the endothelial cell around the junction of the two sporangium lack the thickening. Presence of fibrous bands, differential expansion of the outer and inner tangential wall, and the hygroscopic nature of the endothelial cell help in the adhesion of anther at maturity. The fibrous bands are altogether absent in certain members of the Hydrocataceae and Clistothecious forms whose flower never open. Middle layer. The cell of the middle layer are generally ephemeral, as a rule becomes flattened and crushed during meiosis in the pollen mother cell. In some plant, one or more middle layer may persist in linum ranunculus, and one adjacent to the endothelium may even develop fibrous thickening. In many species, the cell of the middle layer are storage center for starch and other reserves which get mobilized during later development of the pollen. Thank you.